So in just a couple of weeks, hundreds of kids and teens from 66 different countries will be in downtown Corpus Christi, specifically near the marina for the Youth Sailing World Championships. But beforehand, the city has to take care of a few environmental requirements. Our Madeline Dart tells us more about that tonight.
Over 300 storm drains being marked by the Surfrider Foundation. A reminder that what goes in these ends up in
Oso Creek, Nueces Bay, the Inner Harbor, Nueces River.
Which is why these medallions are being placed along ocean and shoreline.
It's just a reminder that you shouldn't be putting stuff down there except for rain, really.
Neil McQueen with the Surfrider Foundation says the sailing competition aims to be environmentally friendly, reducing a negative environmental impact wherever they go.
They have seen patches in the ocean that shouldn't have plastic, and there's some places where it says when they say it looks like you can walk across the plastic trash.
Environmental Services Superintendent Jeff Turner says he's excited for the competition coming to Corpus Christi, and even more so that they want to keep the waters clean.
It makes me feel very good that we have such wonderful partners like surf riders that partner with us in doing these kinds of things.
Turner hopes Corpus Christi residents will see these medallions along the street and remember what goes into the drains could affect the coastal waters.
Helping the general public be educated and more environmentally aware.
Turner says the public is invited to place a medallion on any storm drain in their area. For more information, head over to KIIITV.com. Madeline Dart, 3 News.